What's up, ladies and gentlemen, this is Zenith, and I'm going to be showing you how to make Hermes styled stuff. So today, I'm going to be trying to make an arboreal descendant of this fella. Go away. Okay. Of this fella. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by dragging it into Photoshop for a nice reference image. And we'll go ahead and take that background color and make the background that color. Then we'll go ahead and don't need the ground because he's going to be in the trees, so we'll just make some trees on a new layer. Get this guy out of the way. Takes a couple tries to get the brush strokes right for the trees. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We just fill it to make it easier to color, and I don't want that edge over there, so we'll just shift that over there. And we want a background tree, so we'll go ahead and get another color there and put that on another layer. That's the same color. There we go, that's a good one. And then we'll fill that in. And then on another layer, we'll go ahead and get the texture for the scales from here. And that is for this tree, so we'll go ahead and make some scales. The brush needs to be a bit smaller. By the way, always use the brush tool. Pencil tool is really nice for like sketching. It does this weird pixely thing. If you zoom in really close, you can see that that's pixels, while the brush tool is a lot softer, and we can even move that to the same size, so you can tell that's still a bit big. Yeah, there you go. You can really tell. The only thing about this is that you can't like paint bucket that as nicely because there's that weird fading thing. But it's worth it to use the brush tool over the pencil tool, because even though you can do that, the brush tool looks a lot nicer. So let's just undo all that and bring this back up to like 12 or so. And then we'll go ahead and attempt the scales. So we don't need it to be all the way across because we're not doing all the detail. We just want the detail to be kind of implied. So we don't have to do all of it. We just have to make it look like there would be a lot of it here. Yeah, there we go. Get some more vertical stuff in here, actually. I don't like that line. Okay. That looks pretty good. And we'll turn on this one. Go in and get the dark stuff for that background tree. We'll put it on the same layer because it doesn't really matter. And do pretty much the same thing. Doesn't need to be all there, the texture. Like, we'll do that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We might have to make this a bit skinnier because the guy's gonna be the side of the tree and he's gonna be kind of tall because he has a long tail. And then what we'll do is we'll go in and get the color for the little boy and make him invisible again. And then we're gonna start with, I'm gonna keep this over here this time because it's nice to have a little reference. And we'll put kind of his main body shape. So we're going to give him somewhat of a neck this time, so he'll look a little different. He needs it to see predators. So I guess we'll start with his head up here. And gotta get this neck going. Lines like kind of going in on itself on the inside don't really matter, but you want to watch out for the outside. The inner ones are a lot easier to fix because you can just color them in. Oh, I don't really like the way that neck looks. Be a little fat. I think we're going to have to make the background a little bit lighter. Yeah, there we go. So you can see him better. And go back to this layer. I don't like how this is turning out. We're going to have to start over. Just do be like that sometimes, don't it? And now go in and brighten that up a little bit again. Oh, you access this menu by pressing Control U on Photoshop. I'm not sure how you do it on other applications, but it does exist on other applications. Okay, and now we're gonna go back to this layer and make him look the other way, because I think that'll look less awkward. You don't have to have a good neck yet, you can just kind of have a primitive neck. And it's kind of a wider body at the end than at the front, I would think. I'm not quite sure why, but that's a pretty decent shape, but we're gonna have to move him over a little bit because he has those weird like lip feeler things on his tail mouth. Yeah. And you want those to look good, so you can like merge them into here. Similar thing on the other side of the mouth. Okay, and now you can go ahead and bucket him so he's full. But you're gonna have to go through and color these in. It's not too hard. Might be a little tedious on bigger, more complicated drawings, but whatever. This isn't a big or complicated drawing. Gotta flesh out his shape a little bit more, because it would look better. There we go. So we have his main body shape now. This little tail mouth thing. Got his body and his head. So next we're gonna go ahead and add some legs. So if we look at this little guy, he's got some kind of stubby feet. So we take what we're working with and we're gonna have them kind of flatten out instead of be underneath, kind of like lizards and crocodiles on Earth. So we're gonna go ahead and put them here. Does that look good? I think that looks good. And here. And add a lower part to the leg too. And maybe some like handy boys. How does that look? Oh, that looks good, I like that. So this guy might use like suction cups or hair or something to climb. Like I had a little like gecko hair things to climb instead of claws like some lizards on Earth. Because he is too small to have claws right now, I think. It's too primitive. So we got the front legs. The back legs do this thing where they kind of curve down and then backwards. So we're going to want to make sure to get that. So they go kind of like this. Yeah, they go like this. Kind of bend the opposite way of the ones up there. And I'm using a tablet to do this, that's why the movements are kind of more smooth than like a mouse would be. I'm not sure how I feel about this lump on the side of his body here, so we're gonna get rid of that. But that doesn't look very good. Then you go over it a couple more times and it can end up looking a bit better. And the reason why my, well, the line that like, comes out of the brush isn't exactly the same size. Oh, it is. Never mind. I should be turning with this on. So if you turn this on, it detects the pressure, so you can make it smaller, you can make it fatter, depending on how hard you press down. Which is really useful, especially when you're like coloring line art, because you can get into little spaces easily. But yeah, I guess I'm going to keep drawing with this on, because I started with it on, and I don't want it to look weird and different and inconsistent. Don't be afraid to undo, it's easy, it's Control Z, but you have to press Alt to do it repeatedly on Photoshop, so you end up pressing 3 buttons, which might be a little awkward, but whatever. Then you're gonna wanna... Why is this leg so weird? That leg looks a little awkward, so I'm just gonna redo it a third time, because it do be like that sometimes. There we go, that's looking a lot better. I might give him bigger back legs, because the weight relies more on those, probably. It still looks off, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try moving it a little bit. The lasso tool. And Control T. How does that look? Oh, whoops, I don't want to save it yet, because it isn't done. It's very meh. We'll redo it a 4th time, because once again, it do be like that sometimes. But we'll try really hard to make it good this time. I know this leg is being so hard to draw, but it is. That looks pretty good. It looks good enough. We'll keep it. And I was looking at this head, and I think it's a little too fat. So we'll thin it up, and we'll make it a little shorter by moving this down and in with the... That looks a lot better. I feel like his legs need a little something more. Let's give him like kind of toes things here. It looks a little better, I think. No, it doesn't. We just gotta make the back bigger. That looks pretty good. And then we gotta go in and get this darker colors that I use for the eyes and the breathing slits on the front, and we'll put this on a new layer. She's got these different colors. Yes, they are. That second one is what I should be using. That one's just this color. So we're gonna put in an eye because it's from the side. These are a little big. We'll turn on this then so it's easier. That looks good. And we'll add some breathing slits. They're a little too fat, so turn down the brush size a little bit. And he has 4 of them, I think. Yes. And we need to do his tail mouth too. Make it like doing a devious little grin thing, because that looks pretty cool. And this isn't very smooth, so we're gonna smooth that out. Smooth that out a little bit. Oh. Looks a little better. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Okay, and forgot one of the big boy things about these guys. They have their little uh-oh. Sorry to break your eyes there for a second. You got to give him his little fin things. That glow. So the reason why so many of my organisms have bioluminescence is because I feel it adds a lot to artwork and creature's design. I'll explain that further in a second. So now that we added those, it's kind of hard to see his body shape, and I'm actually gonna undo that real quick. We'll make them... Try to look on this fella. Okay. They kind of stick up, which is hard to do perspective-wise, but we'll try it out. So kind of like this. Looking weird. Okay, that looks marginally okay. So we'll go back to the detail layer. I'll switch the colors, make the brush smaller again. That's the wrong color. Okay. I'm gonna kind of make it so you can see where the fins are and how they're sticking out, so you can, because I only used one color and that makes it kind of hard to see what's going on here. I think this one might be too far down. Whoa. I didn't know what to press. That's something that made opacity really small. This doesn't look too bad. We just gotta redo some of these lines. There you go. That looks a lot better. Does it? I'm not sure. I'll have to make it stick up a bit more. Do that. We'll just go back over this with some of that. Yeah, it looks better. And now we're gonna have to be really careful in erasing this. Or whatever. We'll just go back over it. Oops, that's the wrong color. And we might have to make this one go down a little bit. Yeah, like that. Exactly. No. That's what I was thinking. That's the ticket. We'll go back to the other layer. We do have to... What the... Okay, never mind. We messed it up again. That's fun. I really do be like that sometimes though. Okay, and we're going to, how does that look? That looks almost good. We need to move this up, that's the problem. And then we'll erase these and that again because they're all wrong now. And there's a little spot here we missed. Oops. And there's another little spot here we missed. Okay, now we go back to the small black brush, small darker brush, and voila. I think that's good. I can't really tell. I think those legs are a little bit wrong, so we'll try this before doing anything else. And now that that's a bit bigger, we can try this again. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to want the color of the bioluminescence, and we're going to want to put that on another layer above all of the other layers so the light shines above everything else. And we want it on the tips of the fins and then some designs going down. And as I said earlier, I like the bioluminescence because it adds a lot to the design of the organism and just the general composition of the artwork. That's a little fat. Okay, so those are done, and I think this fin needs a little bit more work. There seems kind of hard to get right. And we're on the right layer. The wrong color selected. So there you go. And now we can finish adding the bioluminescence here. So these guys are pretty much safe from predation because they can climb up trees speedy quick. Things try to eat them. Of course they'd still get predated sometimes because there's things like ambush predators that exist. Or maybe they're sick or something, who knows. Ooh, I don't like that at all. Right, that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna do the designs, which I'm not sure what we're gonna do for those. Maybe some like this stuff. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. And then pretty soon I'm gonna make these guys start to glide between trees. So we can fulfill Gardevoir the Annoying's dream of having flying boys that glow, because that would be pretty cool, and I totally agree. It doesn't really matter if you have the same number of stripes on either side or not, as long as it looks good. There you go. And then we're going to get rid of this fella. To make them glow, what you do is you're going to want to double click on the layer, click outer glow, but that's the wrong color. So you're going to want to select the right color, and that's not quite hard enough, so we're gonna turn the opacity to something like that. Let me make the size down a little bit so it just looks like it's glowing around the area a little bit. So like that's way too bright, that's bad, and that's, you can't even see that, so gotta make sure it's at the right point. And voila, there you have it. That's your boy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna export this as PNG. And I always give them like weird, silly names when I first make them. This one's gonna be Tree Boy. And then we're gonna minimize Photoshop and we're gonna open up Discord. And then I always just go to the copy paste here because it's convenient. And then sometimes I do this in my private server, but I don't know, it's easier. It's easy enough to do it here. So for the names, I usually go to Firefox and I do English to Latin. And then, so let's see, this is, what did I name the previous one? That guy is, Kadukapa parvis. So we're gonna name him something to do with tree, like, here, let's name him Glowfin Tree Dweller. Glow, so that's Meridium. For fervor, ardor, ardorpina, and then we'll go ahead and tree is Siva, I believe. No, arbor. Siva is forest. Arbor habito. We'll name it Arbor Habitus. So that's should be an R. And we'll name it the Arboreal Tail Mouth. And I made this boy. Its ancestor is Kadukapa parvis. It lives in same places, equatorial rainforests in Durex, Antlia, Tulushi, Noma, and Kelia. It's pretty much every continent with tropics. And this is about 15 centimeters, 30 with the tail. Let's make this guy 20 centimeters, 40 with tail. Yeah, because his body would be about this long and the tail is another half, so that's good. What does it eat? That's a good question. I would say that it feeds primarily on Dinocoat's bega legs. So it'll be carnivorous. Mainly bega legs. It would probably also eat like these guys if it really wanted to. Yeah. We'll capitalize the bega legs, because why not? So they produce sexually and they lay eggs. We'll type up a little description. The arboreal tailmouth spends most of its life in the trees of Watson's equatorial rainforests. So the main difference between a rainforest and a jungle is the underbrush. Jungles have like really dense underbrush, while rainforests are just tropical forests where it rains a lot. So yeah, they live in rainforests because we don't really have that much underbrush. We have like some things like these guys, but that's about it. They only come down to lay their eggs in holes dug in soil. They feed primarily on bega legs. And we spelled that wrong. They mate and perform mating displays. Let's swap that around, because that's like the order it comes in. They perform mating displays and mate in trees relatively free from predation. And that about covers their description and submission. So I hope you learned something about Photoshop and drawing in it here. Yeah, that's about it. Bye-bye.